Hey, I'm popping on because it's February, and January already tried to speed run the whole fucking year. Like, January didn't walk. January kicked the fucking door in, stole the furniture, and then asked me for rent money. And I keep seeing this one thing that makes me feel sick. People cheering for death like it's a scoreboard, man. And it's not just one side. Reds do it, Blues do it. Different jerseys, same addiction. Like, man, you're not winning. You're just becoming less human. I'm going to say something kind of intense. Cheering for death is a form of possession. Not like Ooga Booga demons. I mean, your nervous system gets hijacked by a story that gives you permission to dehumanize people. And once that happens, you can justify anything. This is literally how civilizations rot from the inside. They stop seeing people. They start seeing tokens. And when humans become tokens, the solid ground we think we're standing on falls into the fucking abyss. Now, before anybody gets defensive, just breathe. I'm not here to dunk on anybody. I'm not here to pick a team even. I'm not here to run any kind of loyalty rituals. I'm done with that shit. I'm here because I think a lot of you feel what I feel. This miasma, this fog, this toxicity, it's getting thick for everybody. And part of being sane is naming what's happening without becoming cruel yourself. Here's what we're doing today. Simple. Why January revealed all these failure modes, what it tried to do to our brains, what actually works to resist it, the possession, ideological possession, and the February plan, ongoing post-mortems and solid ground tools. I'm doing this live because I want to kind of figure this out on the fly with you guys. I want to sort of see if anybody pops in, has something interesting to say. I know it's kind of early, but I just keep thinking, January was like every day the timeline woke up, it chose violence. And people aren't even arguing anymore. The people are auditioning. Like, here's my moral badge. This is who I cheered for dying today. Here's my enemy list. Here's my approved emotions that I can feel. And the worst part is it works. It recruits people. Okay, here's the pattern map that I saw of how this worked. The first failure mode I saw blatantly since the Charlie Kirk thing is the Death-Scorecard, like this political scorecard where people are punching victims out and parading around their dead bodies, basically. Pictures of them, memes, fuck around, find out, on both sides. It's not always that explicit. Sometimes it's subtle little jokes, and this fuck around, find out energy, and serves them right. They shouldn't have been saying that stuff, or they shouldn't have been in the way, or they shouldn't have done blah 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 blah. That's spiritual rot. It's bullshit. I don't care what color you vote, red or blue. second failure mode that I noticed was the tribe draft. If you don't chant the slogan, you're one of them. Well, it's not dialogue. It's fucking recruitment, man. It's bullshit. Like, just because you don't join a side doesn't mean you're literally Hitler or Mao. Okay. Another failure mode that I noticed was the moral blackmail. You don't get to be complex. You don't get to have nuance, and you don't get to have your own soul. You must sign the loyalty oath or be exiled totally. Another failure mode that I noticed was two slot thinking. Like, everything becomes red or blue, good or evil. You're my friend or you're my enemy. And the moment you accept that whole frame, it starts driving your car. Like, you're not allowed to have opinions because it goes against your party line, against your beliefs. That's dogma. That's dogma. And for all those religious people out there, you can be religious and not have dogma. And also for all you atheist people out there, you can not be religious and be full of fucking dogma. Okay? I hope that clears that up. Another failure mode that I noticed was outrage as a drug. People don't want the truth anymore. They want the hit. They want the hit, baby. Outrage becomes the emotional nicotine that keeps the identity stable, because underneath it, people don't know what the hell they are until they're told what they are by the news or a political candidate. This is the Metacrisis. It's a system that rewards your worst self. It's like the culture is running a treadmill program called Become Morally Certain, Emotionally Reactive, and Spiritually Numb. And the final form of that is the empty man. Not empty like sad, empty like no depth, no mercy, no curiosity, just slogans and target practice. And listen, if you've been so swept up in it, you're not evil. You're not. You're human. But your attention is being farmed. Your fear is being farmed. Your tribe impulse is being farmed. You're being milked. And the first step of getting free is noticing the hook while it's still happening. Here's my January fight. People tried to force me into a tribe all over again. You say something like, hey, maybe don't cheer for death. And someone goes, oh, you support them? Bro, I said, don't clap for corpses. And you heard, join my team. That's insane. And I've had to practice refusing that, because the tribe draft is how they steal your sovereignty. It's how you give over your soul to something darker. This is where individuation matters. Carl Jung went on and on and on about it. If you can't hold your own mind under social pressure, you don't have a self. You have a remote control. And I'm telling you, the future belongs to people who can hold complexity without collapsing. They're comfortable with nuance, with the gray. And the trick is, you don't fight people like they're monsters. Most people are scared. They're lonely. They're overloaded. So respond with firmness and dignity. That's where the solid ground's at. All right, tools. These are things that I used, not theory. Things that worked. When someone tries to draft you into their tribe, just pause. Don't get bum rushed. Don't feel rushed to respond. Silence is your power. Okay? Pause and say, you're trying to force me into a team instead of responding to what I said. Then stop talking. Let it land. And then say, what do you think I believe? Like, what villain did you assign to me? What are you seeing when you look at me, when you're talking to me? Because half the time they're fighting their mental caricature of you, not who you are. They're not addressing your soul. That is the highest form of disrespect. And you shouldn't tolerate it. Another thing you can try to do is reroute the river. Don't headbutt the current, redirect it. I said to somebody, I get what you're trying to protect. You feel like Nazi Germany is about to happen, or if you're talking to a conservative, they think Stalin is about to roll in and put people in gulags. The reds and the blues have the same fears with different flavors, right? So acknowledge that. There's nothing wrong with that. I get what they're afraid of, but I also care about how we go about doing it. The question is, how do we protect it without becoming cruel? Nobody's interested in asking that question. Well, it's not rewarded in the algorithm, I should say. I think there's plenty of people asking. When you frame things like this, it invites people to think like an adult again. It invites them. It's not a cure-all, but it invites them. Another thing I tried is say, let's name 3 values that we're balancing. If we worship only one, that's how we become monsters. Like truth, dignity, and safety. Freedom, order, and mercy. Justice, due process, and social cohesion. I think those are good trinities, things that kind of keep everything in between the yin and the yang. Without compromise, I think we all have to have the no death confetti boundary. Okay? Like, don't celebrate death. Don't do it. If we can't agree on that, we're not in a political combo. We're in a possession ritual. This is one This one is nuclear in a good way. It explodes. It exposes the moral rot. It dispels it. And if people continue to cheer for death, then, other people, their friends and family, will start to notice how bizarre that is, and how worked up and angry they get at you. And maybe there's a greater chance that they can, wake up out of that possession. This is another one that's worked for me. The change your mind question. What would you have to see to change your mind? If they say nothing, you can calmly just go. Okay, then we're not truth seeking. We're loyalty signaling. We're recruiting. Leave. Another thing is I like to test if they are a lantern bearer of truth or not. I want to see if they're building, if they're happy for their friends when they're succeeding instead of resentful. If they want a war chant, I'm not their guy. This all protects your energy, and it attracts real people into your life that are going to be helpful. And here's the funny part. When you do this calmly, some people get angrier because they wanted you to mirror their rage. They wanted you to kneel to the ritual. And you're like, no thanks. I brought snacks and a constitution for the soul. Not interested in this bullshit. But then something else happens. The quiet people, they notice. You'll get a message later in your DMs like, thank you. I thought I was alone. That's why holding your ground matters. That's why self-individuating matters. When one person refuses the trance, it gives permission to others. It shows them that they're not alone. And it's not as scary to stand on your own and say what you think. Here's why I'm hopeful. I think the miasma is getting so thick that people are finally getting disgusted. And disgust can be the beginning of awakening. Not self-righteous disgust. The sobering disgust, like, I don't want to be this anymore. That's a doorway. So February forward, I'm making this ongoing series. I call the solid ground the Mesa, because there's only so much of it and you slide off the side if you're not careful. So I want to do these Mesa Metacrisis post-mortems. I'll workshop on that name, but I want to talk about what happened, what failure mode showed up, what to practice instead, how to stay self-individuated under pressure. And we're not doing it to be superior. Anybody can learn this. Anybody can do this. We're doing this because civilization needs people who can hold dignity in a storm. So drop in the chat or the comments. When was the last time you felt tribe drafted? What line or boundary helped you hold your ground? What event would you like to see me post-mortem next? And if you're one of the lantern bearers, subscribe. I'm building a toolkit for sane humans. And if you would like to be one of them, I'd love for you to join me. All right. That's it. I just needed to say it. Don't clap for death. Don't let anyone draft your soul. Stay on the mesa. Stay on solid ground. And I'll see you next time.